Coming up on today's show, we have a casserole that's so chock full of color and flavor, you don't want to miss it. Stay tuned. Hi, I'm Rhonda Fitterer.
And I'm Laverne.
And on today's show, we got a casserole that you can make a huge casserole if you need.
Yep.
For a big family gathering, or you could split it in two.
That's right, and you can freeze half of it. And what better to come home from work one day and just pop a casserole in the oven and not have to start from scratch.
Awesome.
That's
Awesome.
right.
But
Okay.
for this casserole, it's called the Noodle and Cheese Bake. So if you're going to cook along with us, get your pen and paper, pause your DVR, come back, and here's the ingredients. You need a full package of spaghetti, 16 ounces. You need 2 medium onions chopped, a green pepper, a red pepper. You need a stick of butter, and flour, milk, 4 cups of cubed chicken, a can of cream of mushroom, and a can of cream of chicken, sour cream, celery, salt, pepper, shredded cheese, both mozzarella and cheddar. So,
Does that sound good or what?
well, it's got, like I said, chock full of color and flavor. This is going to be awesome.
It's sure to please, absolutely. And what's going to be nice is we are going to feature baking half of it and freezing another part of it, in that. And it freezes really well. It freezes, they say, easily up to 3 months. But if a person really wraps it and seals it good, it'll probably go longer. But it wouldn't last that long. They'll
Right.
ask for, where's the rest of that casserole you
Right.
made? So,
Right.
well, we're going to come over here, and I already had cooked my chicken. It's 4 cups of cooked chicken.
Okay.
But we're going to start here. We're going to saute. We'll take that stick of butter you talked about, get that in here, and we're going to saute our vegetables.
Okay.
I did just get done cooking my spaghetti.
Okay.
So it's 16 ounces of spaghetti.
That is a full package, correct? I mean, you just
Right.
open up a...
Just a package, that's right. And you cook your spaghetti as directed. So we didn't figure that anybody needed to see the spaghetti boiling, so I could get that.
I'm
underway.
beyond that. I do know how to make spaghetti
That
noodles,
is-
so if I can do that, most people can. So.
All right. Well, as much as your kids, my grandkids love noodles, you've perfected that.
Yes,
So we'll
yes.
just get this melted here and going. And we're going to saute our onion,
Okay.
our green pepper, and our red pepper. And so we'll get that in there. Looks like a lot of onion here, but it says 2 medium onions. Or I actually just had a large onion, and that's what I went by. To me, it was like taking 2 medium or 1 large.
Well, and this was on Carla's garden, right?
That's right.
I think she used some Miracle Grow on her onions.
Oh, she's got onions over the sides of softballs and
Yes.
stuff. But I didn't go quite that large.
Okay.
Yeah. She did fantastic with her onions this year. And 1 chopped green pepper. Your peppers always are so flavorful in any casserole. So when it asks for any red pepper, green pepper, it's always exciting because, like I said, makes it really, really good.
Very tasty.
So it doesn't take too long just to saute that, get that, heated up here. And when you just look at all the color already, it's going to be really nice. So, while this is sauteing here, we'll just give that a few minutes to heat up and get really going here.
Okay.
Well, we've been sauteing our peppers and onions here in that butter, and that's about where we want it. You want it a little tender, but still crisp.
Right.
Because it's going to be baking in there too, so it's going to get a little softer.
Okay.
So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to add 6 tablespoons of flour.
Okay.
I've already got that pre-measured, and let's just get that in here. Doesn't take long for that flour to mix up.
Because
we want
all that
Right.
butter in there.
We just want that to thicken a little bit.
Okay.
Then we're going to add 2 cups of milk.
Okay.
And it says 2%, and that's usually what I have, but I think that, if you have some other milk, that's going to be just fine also. So we're going to heat that up.
I think 1% probably would be fine. Sometimes when you
Yeah.
cook with skim, it's not always the best. I probably wouldn't recommend that.
Right. I wouldn't either. Whole milk would just make it a little bit richer.
Yep.
Yep. So we can always handle that. And that. So you only live once, right? So
Right.
yeah, whatever.
Do it right.
Yep. But we may not live as long if we eat like this.
This is true.
But this is good stuff. You got all your vegetables and stuff. So just a little bit that milk in here, we're stirring that, and it's getting that a little bit thick, and that's what we want.
Okay.
I'm going to turn that down just a little bit here. So we're going to add 1 can of cream of chicken soup.
Okay.
So you got some really great sauces in here with the milk and flour, and then
Well, and with the soup that we're adding, it doesn't look like we have salt going in here. A little bit of celery salt, but not normal salt.
correct, yeah. You won't need all of that in there. And it is topped with cheese.
Okay.
So again,
Got some salt
there you
going
have
there.
some salt. So we'll get that all in there. And we're going to set those cans aside so we can save the labels. And we sure want to remind our viewers that save your labels for the schools.
Yes.
It helps.
Box tops and labels.
Right. We need to do everything that we can. And I don't think there's a school that doesn't save those. So you'll always find somewhere to take them to if you don't have kids in school anymore. Get that heated up. And then we're going to add a cup of sour cream.
All right.
Okay. And being all this is going to be hot, I believe it takes about 40 minutes to bake.
Okay.
And that really should...
And does the baking time change? I know that we've talked about that this is a great casserole that you can bake half of it, freeze the other half. When you have a lesser quantity, does that affect the baking time?
Well, not necessarily. If you have a casserole, the casserole is going to be a little smaller, but it's still as
thick.
deep.
Okay.
Correct. And then the one that you freeze, and you're going to want to, I would put it in the refrigerator and thaw it overnight, and probably leave it set out for about a half hour before you bake. And again, you're going to see if it's bubbly. It might take a little bit longer with that.
Okay.
So we need half a teaspoon of celery salt. There. Well, you can hear it bubbling already there.
yes.
And a half a teaspoon of pepper.
Okay.
We'll get that going so it doesn't bubble up there and splash.
It's actually a very thick casserole. I mean,
Yeah.
this is very thick right now.
It's going to be nice and creamy. And as you can see, we started out with a nice big kettle. Your 6-quart Dutch oven or whatever you may have, because this way you can get it all in one and you don't have to make other dishes dirty. So I cooked the noodles and then we went from there, and it's just one kettle.
Wow.
And that. So now I have 6 cups of cooked chicken.
Okay.
So we'll get that in there.
And I see that you probably cooked your chicken with a little bit of seasoning as well, probably just a little bit of pepper.
I do put just a little bit of salt and pepper on it.
Okay.
It just seems like it adds a little bit more flavoring when you actually cook the chicken than if you just had it in the casserole itself.
Okay.
So we can see that that's getting all heated up.
Okay.
And now we have our pound of spaghetti here.
Okay.
So we're going to add that in there.
Now you do need a big casserole for this, or a big kettle for this, because
To get
once
it
you add all
mixed.
that in.
Yeah. And so you can see why this will make enough for a hearty supper to feed a family. Plus, put that extra one in the freezer.
Absolutely.
Through the years, you learn, when you're cooking, when your family's at home, you cook a lot more. And now it is nice to when you're making these casseroles or lasagna or things. Freeze one. I mean, when you go through all that work, it's nice just to have that extra one that you don't have to start from scratch.
Right. Well, and when you got all the ingredients there, it doesn't take
Yeah.
any longer to fill up 2 pans than it does one.
Not at all. So, you know, it didn't look like that the noodles, you know, spaghetti only 16 ounces or whatever is that much, but when you mix it in with all the other ingredients, it really adds up.
Absolutely.
So we're going to bring that over here, and I will have you spray both of these pans.
Okay.
Now I didn't start, you know, that's probably by 11 by 7 inches, or this
Yep.
one's a little bit smaller. So doesn't make any difference what size you have, just use it.
Okay.
And if you were going to wanted to bake all this all at once, you know, you should almost have like 11 by 15 or something.
Okay.
Your 9 by 13, I don't think would be quite big enough for this.
Yeah. So I mean, this if you had a little bit thicker one, would that matter? You know,
Well,
because
it's going to help.
Okay.
Yep. And then your baking time will probably be a little longer.
Okay.
So let me just take that in there. Now we're going to put a little bit of
I can hold.
that in there.
Or am I
Well,
not
we'll
helping
just we'll just go like this here, and then we'll get the rest, and then we can even it out if we need to.
It smells awesome.
Doesn't it though? And I'll have you get me one of my spatulas over there.
Don't want to leave any sauce in there.
Oh, not that good stuff. You know, if I didn't clean out the pans like I started with, I think my viewers would think, what's wrong? She's not cleaning out. She's wasting.
We do get comments on that.
We do, don't we? So let's see now. That one
pretty
makes
good.
a good, oh, doesn't that look? I might just put a little bit more in there. Okay, so I'm gonna just.
And to top these off, again, we're going to put cheese on top of these.
Right,
so.
we're gonna put, we got 2 cups of Monterey Jack cheese and a cup of your cheddar cheese.
Okay.
So we're gonna just put that on there and just spread that out.
Okay.
And then we're going to cover it for the first 30 minutes.
Okay.
For the baking time. Does that look like you got enough cheese on that one?
Sure does.
Okay. So now now my fingers are slippery. Okay. Thank you.
Yep.
Okay. So
I can open packages.
Good. Okay, just spread that out there. And it says a cup of each, but if you have a little bit more, I think it'll just make it that much better. And then it'll add a little bit of color too with the yellow cheese with
Sure.
the white.
Great.
Okay. So we're going to set this one aside because that one we're not going to bake. And this one we're going to put some aluminum foil over.
No,
That looks good. Okay.
don't want to waste.
That's right. Oh, and that one there, I have a different lid. We won't. But as long as you have it out, let's put it on.
I'm giving it that extra protection so it might last longer than that.
That's right. So we did preheat the oven at 350.
Okay.
So we're going to put that in there. So I'll just have you open the oven for me. And we'll get that started. I'll set the timer for 30 minutes. Okay.
Okay.
Now, we have a fabulous dessert. And it's going to be so simple again.
But when you hear these ingredients, so for the people that want to cook along with us, there's just a couple ingredients that you need. You need a full yellow cake mix, a stick of butter, an egg, and the filling you're going to need a can of sweetened condensed milk, another egg, vanilla extract, pecans, and chopped brittle toffee bits.
Okay, does that sound
Really?
good?
That's just...
Oh, but wait till you taste them. It's going to be absolutely wonderful.
All right.
I do need to get a scissor to cut open the cake box, and we're going to put it in our mixer so we can blend that. We're going to, like you said, we're going to, with the cake mix, and we have a stick of softened butter.
Okay.
There we go. You know, I just had that out at room temperature, and with even with the air conditioner on, it doesn't take much for butter to be soft when it gets to 90 plus
Yes.
temp. So then we're going to use 1 egg for in here.
Okay. And this is the law of something in North Dakota. When school starts before Labor Day, you know it's going to be in the 90s.
When school starts, absolutely. Now, I got some farm fresh eggs from a cousin of ours.
Okay.
And I opened it up, and it's got 2 yolks.
It's a twin.
Yes. I mean, you don't get that in your store-bought eggs. But with the eggs that I got from her, the majority of them have had 2 yolks. So,
Crazy.
yeah. And we'll just put that on low. And we got color. Some of the grandkids thought I actually had like Easter eggs because I got brown and I got blue here and that. So
It looks more greenish.
greenish, a little bit.
Olive green.
Yeah. So we'll take that 9 by 13 cake pan, and we're going to spray that because we'll spread the crust in there. Because it doesn't take long just to, you know, we just want to get it blended. We don't need to mix it a long time. We just want to make sure it's all blended in there. So that really, you know, using a box of cake mix for the crust, you're taking away the work of, which it isn't a lot, but, you know, pre-measuring flour,
Right.
baking powder, or anything like that you might need in there. So,
It tastes better too.
oh, it'll be good. Anything that doesn't take a lot is always good. Okay, so we're going to just get that, and we'll press that into the pan. And then we're going to be able to use this beater and bowl again for the filling. So again, you're going to cut out a little bit of other extra dirty dishes. So we have that, and let's just see, it's a real stiff batter there. It's not something you're going to have to press in. You're not going to be able to just, you know, spoon it in like a cake mix.
Right.
So, and then I'm going to bring it up on the sides just a little bit too. You know, because just to give it a little bit of crust after we pour that filling in there.
Perfect.
It doesn't take a lot to press that in there. You know, it's always fun to find different dessert recipes, different bars. You know, because when we do potlucks or you go to different occasions, you know, most often, you know, you're probably bringing a dessert or bars. So,
Well, and like you and Dab taking up camping, you're taking stuff like this that you've pre-made that's easy to cut, easy to put into a container and take with you. So
and everybody loves it. Yep, that's right. You know, we all have our standard favorites of bars and that, but like I said, it's fun to do something different once in a while. Okay, so we're going to crack open that other egg, and then we'll get our condensed milk.
Okay.
Oh, this one just has one large yolk. We don't have two this time. Okay. You know, and I was just reading an article too that farm eggs are a lot healthier for you than your bought-in eggs because they're all, you know, natural. There's nothing, you know, organic, or I mean, I should say it's all organic. There's nothing that the chickens are fed, you know, natural, and they're out getting exercise and stuff instead of chickens cooped up. So they said, you know, your farm eggs are a lot better.
An egg's just not an egg anymore.
Yeah, it's not. And also in that article, because they were talking about it being healthy, I'm going to just borrow my smaller spatula. That farm fresh eggs, which, you know, we always grew up with, but they're fertilized, where of course, you know, you can hatch chickens and stuff, but that they have something in the farm fresh eggs that actually is good for arthritis.
Oh.
Yeah, they say that a farm fresh egg, you know, whatever the chickens have naturally, you know, is a lot better for you.
So are we eating these in mass quantity then? If you scramble them, do you have to eat them in a cake? I mean, what are we talking? Do we have to eat a dozen eggs a day?
Not quite. Well, you know, we might put a few pounds on if we have one egg to, or two eggs to a pan of bars to get our dozen eggs. We might.
But again, we'd be happy. We'd be smiling.
It would be
We'd
good.
probably have
wouldn't
a
it?
tummy ache though, so
No.
maybe not smiling so much.
Okay, and then we're going to do a teaspoon of vanilla, and I'll just add that in there right away.
Looks like you need to order some.
Would you believe I probably got some in my pantry already? You can't.
I'd be like hard pressed to think that you didn't.
Yeah. You could not run out. But it's getting down.
You shock yourself sometimes when you run out of something, I know.
Oh, it is. It's tough.
One day we're going to have to do an episode on things that, you know, just shopping. What's the way that my mother shops for viewers is amazing. That, I mean, she knows sales, and
Oh,
I
I'm
think
sure.
you can make it a professional business shopping for people.
I think I could, and
know
I
you
think
could.
that would be fun. Because, I mean, it's fun saving money and just like, oh, look what I got for this, you know? It's great. So we're going to add a cup of chopped pecans
Okay.
and a cup of that toffee,
Okay.
you know, there. Okay.
That
So-
right there just sold the dessert.
Oh, it did well. So we will just mix that together. And then I believe the directions, does it say that we're going to bake at 350 for,
20 to 25 minutes, or
Okay.
until golden brown. So
okay.
you kind of know how your ovens bake already.
Yep. So we already have 22 minutes left on the casserole before we take that out. And so this is going to work just perfect.
All right, we're going to be able to indulge in our casserole and then let this cool just a few minutes before we dig in.
Oh, yes. Okay, and we'll just,
I already know that Dad's going to be asking for this again.
I have no doubt.
This looks like a Dad recipe.
But I think you got your dad's sweet tooth for sure. No,
I think I got two.
you got our both of ours, right? You took.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll put this in the oven here. And get that in there. And so then we will be back in 20 minutes. Yep, and check everything out.
All right, we'll feature it. Stay tuned.
Well, our buzzer went off, so we're going to take out our brownies. Well, they're not really brownies, but our bars. Let's check that out.
I think
there.
these are going to be better than brownies.
Ooh,
Look at
yes, just look at that.
That is awesome.
And I uncovered the crust is nice and brown here, so that it definitely is done.
Okay.
And it says 20 to 25 minutes. And actually, when we put it in, it showed 22 minutes. So
Okay.
that's just perfect. So we're going to let that cool a little bit. And I uncovered our casserole, and we just want to go another 5 minutes or so just
Okay.
to get that cheese really bubbly. It was nice and melted already, but we'll just go a few more minutes without it being covered. So.
All right. Well, this gives it a chance to cool and set up a little bit
Yeah.
before we dig in.
Dig in, okay. Well, I guess I won't give you too big of a fork. Okay, let's turn that buzzer off and we should be able to take out our casserole.
Oh, bubbling.
Oh, it is. Look at how nice and bubbly and hot that is. I'm going to set that in that tray there. Oh, does that not look good?
We are going to eat like royalty tonight.
We are. So we're going to just go ahead and cut a nice little chunk out of here. Yeah, let's. Ooh, look at that cheese. Oh, and all that color to it there.
Perfect.
Okay.
Well, I don't
Look
know
at
that
that.
there's too many families that won't like this dish.
I think it'll go over great.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
Okay.
Cheese, spaghetti, what else could you ask for, right?
Yeah, and chicken and all that beautiful color in there.
I think we're holding the wrong
Okay.
plates, though.
Oh, okay.
But to get these recipes, just go to our website, Consolidated's at www.ctctel.com. Please submit your recipes for us to cook for you. We love cooking other people's recipes, so please submit. As always, thank you to the Workshop for being our sponsor. Thank you for joining us tonight and have a good evening.